Hi there, welcome back to the garage. Oh, here we go again. If you follow the channel, you remember a few weeks ago I had the Yaris in. It's about a month ago now. With the jerking, intermittent fault, cutting out, really random. It's been fine for three weeks, and then all of a sudden it's just done it again. So we didn't sort it out. When we looked at the fuel tank, we looked at the pressure, changed the cap. We need to have another look at it and see if we can figure out what's going on. So back to the drawing board with this one. So just a quick recap, we did change the fuel filler cap because it's got a little vent on it there, and we repaired this split breather pipe on the fuel tank. One of the main problems we've got, it's got no fault codes coming up. So when there's no fault codes there, I'm straight away thinking it's either going to be exhaust system blocked, possibly catalytic converter, or a fuel supply problem before the engine management system. So the fuel pump, fuel filter, fuel strainer, the fuel not getting to the engine. And then that's the kind of where my feeling is, which is why we did the things with the pressure in the tank. If there was a vacuum in there and we couldn't get any fuel through, that's why we changed the cap and stuff like that. But anyway, let's have a quick delve at this. We can check the catalytic converter with the diagnostics machine. We can put that on there and check the pre-cat and the post-cat figures and see if it looks like the actual catalytic converter is working properly. Or we can take the downpipe off of it and have a look at it and see if it's complete, if it's broken up or anything. So yeah, let's get stuck in. First things first, let's have a look at the readings on that catalytic converter and see if we can spot whether it's working okay or whether there might be an issue there. Okay, so we've got the old topped on RT Diag 600, and we've got a little port under here for plugging it in. And as you can see from this one, that's the rear oxygen sensor, the one behind the cat's running at 0.4 of a volt, which is spot on, it's in blue. We've got the engine coolant, which is quite low still, so that's in red, it's still below operating temperature. And the first sensor there, which is just clicking in and out of red, here it is, look. You can see that's got a lovely waveform on it, and it should be, we want between 0.1 and 1 volt. So the voltages were okay on that catalytic converter. It looks like it's all, as it should be. But because it's so easy, there's just 2 bolts on springs holding the downpipe on. If I pop them off, we can have a quick look at it as well and just make sure that it is complete. We'll get the car in the air and axle stand under there. So we're going to have a look under here at the catalytic converter. I can drop down the downpipe from the cat and see if it's breaking up inside. Maybe that's what's causing us a problem. Let's have a little look. The cat has got 2 bolts. You just got to hope that they don't snap off when we undo them and they come undone. So we've got, this is just a downpipe. The catalytic converter is above it. 14mm bolts there. I'll put a bit of lube on it. Let's see how tight it is. Oh, tight. It's gone. That's one of them moving. How about this side? Oh. I can pull that out of the way and just have a look up there and see what's going on. Absolutely lovely in there. No bother at all. I'm just going to blow some compressed air down the exhaust pipe from the back to the front just to make sure it's clear and free, which it is, so that's okay as well. So the cat was clear, that isn't the issue. The exhaust, I've blown compressed air back through the exhaust, and that's clear as well. So it doesn't look like it's an exhaust problem. Yeah, back to the drawing board. So I'm pretty confident the exhaust system is absolutely fine. So we're going to move on to the fuel tank now. We're going to whip these back seats out. I'm not going to lie to you, these plastic covers are a pain in the backside. They're really tight on the clip at the back there. I'm faffing about trying to get it off without breaking it. Got there in the end. But yeah, little fish hooks. Then we just got to get the other one off the other side and then remove all these ET bolts, external Torx. We just whip them out and then lift the seat and just put it in the back. We're not going to disconnect the seatbelt, we'll just get it out of the way. Oh, it's a heavy old thing. Which then reveals under the carpet there, it's a little cutout, the top to the fuel tank. And we can just prise that off. It's got some black sticky gunk under it, a bit of butyl tape holding that on. And then that just reveals the sender unit. There it is. Got your high pressure fuel pipe here, out from the pump. You've got your return pipe coming back in there. You've got your evap pipe coming in there. That one has got a little crack in it, but it's only just a tiny bit, so it's not going to be affecting anything. So the next thing we're going to test for is on the connector plug to the fuel pump. We want to do a voltage drop test, which is going to check out our earth and also check the feed to the pump, so we can see if it's an earth issue, because it was said that it was doing it more when it was damp and wet as well. So not only was it with a full tank of fuel, but it was also damp and wet. There's a few things that are in the mix there, and we don't quite know what's true and what's just coincidence. So let's do this earth test anyway. It's a nice straightforward one. Let's just pop the top off this plug. But just leave that one gently there and just push that tab in there. There we go. So on this fuel pump here, we've got 4 wires. The 2 thin ones are for the fuel tank sender unit. The 2 thick ones are for the fuel pump. We've got a black wire there, which is going to be our positive. That's the 12-volt feed or the battery feed from the fuel pump relay. And we've got the white and black, which is going to be the earth wire. So here's a wiring diagram from eManual Online. Anybody can go onto their website and download workshop manuals for any vehicle. This one's really good. We can see the wiring diagram there. You've got the fuel pump, which is showing the black wire coming from the relay, and you've also got the black and white wire, which is taking you down to the earth point. I'll put links in the description for all these manuals. If you fancy having a look, then just check out the link and get a bit of discount as well. So let's start the car up and get a probe. Okay, so the car's running. I've got a nice sharp probe there to put into my multimeter, which we just click into the prong there, pull the cap off it, try not to stab myself with it. Down here I've got the earth is going to a nice bolt on the seat there, so that's really good. Now we can just check that first of all with the multimeter, just to see if I just touch another part of the bolt, if we get a 0 on there, yeah, like that, we know we've got a good earth, so that's a good start. Right, let's get this where you can see it as well. So on here we've got the black wire, which is giving us battery voltage 13.9 volts because we've got the engine running, and on the white wire, which is the earth wire, we're getting 0.124, which is a really good earth. I'm expecting to see below 0.3 of a volt there. If there's any more than 0.3 of a volt, we sort of know we've got a bad connection, a bad earth. That's really good, which is a shame because yeah, that would have been a nice fix, but it's not the earth. So we know the earth's good, we know the pump's running well. So the next step now is to take out the tank sender unit and see what's going on. Have we got a blocked strainer? Could it be that? Could the strainer be, is there something floating around in the tank that's sticking to the bottom of the strainer? Is it dirty? We did have that split pipe on the fuel line. Possibly some dirt's got into the tank. Let's have a look in there, see what we've got. Yeah, so it's got a bit of a split in it. How does this one here as well? Got a little bit of a split in that one. So just make a note of the time on my watch here. It says 11:41. So this is how long it's going to take me to actually get this tank unit out. So we just pop off the little yellow safety clip, the retaining clip there, to give me a screwdriver behind it. Now we've got to take it all the way out. There we go. And then pop that off there. There's not a lot of pressure in there. Pop that to one side. And then we've got this ring around the outside to remove. I'm just going to try tapping it around, see if it'll shift. Now some of these rings will go with the tap, others won't. So I'm not sure how this one's going to fare. We'll give it a little tap and just see if it's going to budge. A bit wary if it's snapping off the lugs like that. So we're going to have to get the tool. Here's the tool, it's arrived straight from Amazon. I put links in the description for it. I tapped it, or tried to tap it, but we're having none of it, was it? It was going to break. So let's disconnect everything again and get this show on the road. So let's just disconnect this again and then we can get the tool on it. These little feet go down onto the side of those lugs on there, and then as we rotate it, we should be able to grab it and it should bring it off. Ooh. We shall see. I don't feel like they fit the best. It feels a bit loosey-goosey. I can see me having problems here, but we'll get it attached as best we can and watch it slip. I can see me having troubles. There may be troubles ahead. It's very wibbly wobbly. Battle stage commence. I'll tell you what, fitting this thing has been a pain in the backside. It's really tricky to try and get it in there. It keeps slipping. Got a bit of fuel coming up through the pipe from the tank, that is, but it just slips. Oh, I just can't get any grip on it. I'm gonna have to try something else. I'm gonna have to try and wedge it in somehow. Oh, slipped. The only thing I could think of was to get the tool and fit it beyond its means, if you like, go wider, go right down the sides. So rather than trying to get it on the top, the way it's shaped, is to go right down beyond it and yeah, wedge it in, and hoping that it will just grip on those the little lugs on the side a bit better. So we'll get the tool in there, right down the sides. It's really tight. That's right off the edges now, so let's see what happens with that. We've got better grip. I'm just going to do these butterflies up just a tiny bit more, just to help. There goes nothing. Oh yes! Yes! Oh my god! Oh, it's moved. Yes! Yes! Holy crap, that took some shindiggery, didn't it? It's still really tight though. Here it comes. I'll take that off again. Get that out of the way. So it's took me just about 50 minutes to get to this point, just cracking that ring off. 50 minutes just to crack that off. That is how much of a struggle this has been to loosen this top off. But now it's moving. We should be well on his way and we'll soon have it out. But yeah, it was that was a real challenge to get hold of that. It was almost we had to incorrectly fit the tool to it to get it to come off. Before we take it out, we've got to remember the orientation, that this pipe is pointing straight down, that one's going straight across, and we've got the arrow, yeah, towards the dot there. That's pretty cool. Flipping out, what a job that was. Contraption up. It's tight, that is. Oops. Here it is. Gotcha. Right, so that is out, the sender unit's out, and first impression of it, it's got some dirt in it. So yeah, that might be really positive. Let's just get that out of the way a minute. But here's the sender unit, look. And see down there, look at all the grit and stuff that's in the bottom there. Let's just have a little look at this. You see in here, look, we've got dirt, more dirt. Right, so here it is on the bench. Let's have a little look, see if we can't take it to bits. Inside the bottom here, there's going to be a strainer of some sort. Yeah, we've basically got power comes down, fuel pumps in here. Your little sender unit there tells you how much petrol's in the car. Just a variable resistor there. And then on the bottom here, we've got, I think there's a little strainer inside there, looking down there. But also there's going to be one on the bottom of the pump. So let's try and get this pump out to start with. It looks like we've got these two little, there's a couple of clips there. One that side. And that now looks like it wants to come out. And there's the little strainer on the bottom there. Now, is that full of crap? And then this looks like it's held on with a couple of clips. That side there, and that side there. Don't want to break it. Oh, come on. Oh, blimey. This is a tough bit of plastic, this is. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, and it looks like it's attached to them two as well. One. Two. Oh, there's another one. There's another one under that. Bingo. Right, one little strainer. There's actually a filter gauze inside there as well. So we've got to try and get that off, haven't we? Unless that's all a part of that. I think it is. I think that is a part of that as well. And then that clips off there, comes as one piece. I think this is all going to be one big piece. That this fella here. Yeah. That looks filthy in there. That does look really dirty. just need to cut that off of there. Trim that back, I believe, to get it back on again. And that is the fuel filter as well. So we've got, oops, daisy, we've got the strainer and we've now got the fuel filter as well. So we've got to replace both of those. Right, new parts have arrived. So let's get this box opened up. This was hard going getting hold of all this stuff. So the fuel pump here, if it's the right one, which we'll soon find out, hopefully, fingers crossed, this was the last one they had in stock. Couldn't get it from anywhere else. Toyota, directly from them, they wanted £370 for this. The only reason was because you can't get this separately. You've got to buy the two together. This is a Denso one as well, which is original equipment. This is like the same as what Toyota fitted. This original pump is made by Denso, so it's, fingers crossed, it looks right so far. And straight away, you can see the difference in those two. I mean, look at the colour of that one compared to the colour of that one. Okay, and then you've got the little plastic fly lead there, which all looks the same. Yeah, I think we're all right. I think we're going to be okay. Okay, so that was that one, and then this one here is a really funny one, which is the filter there. You can't buy that from Toyota. You have to buy the complete sender unit for, let me get it right, it was £1,300 plus VAT. But the car ain't worth that. They do love to mess you about, which is unbelievable considering you can just go and get these bits from aftermarket sellers. So that all looks pretty good. And again, if you look, I'll cut this open for you at some point, but if you look in there, that is crystal clear white, and that one there is black and horrible. You can see that straight away. Right, so we've got this little noggin here which goes into that part there. We just push that in. Might need a bit of lube on it, I don't know. Oh, is it? I think I'm just going to put a little bit of lube on there. Just a little bit of that and that, and the same on that one. That's just silicone spray. It's great for rubbers and seals and stuff. There you go, that's made light work of that. We've got a new O-ring there, which is going to be the one for inside here. You see that one's got the O-ring in there. Okay, so we've got the seal in there. Now we need to put the wire through there into here, and plug it into the pump. Yeah, it won't go in that way, so it is definitely that way around. Cool, that's in there. And we can feed that into there. I'm just going to put a little bit of lube on that seal, like I said, down there, and that should slide into the pump nicely. Lining everything up. Make sure the clips are in place. Bang, there we go. Just have a little look at this one, make sure that the terminals are good on that one as well. Let's just take this out and give it a blowing off with the airline, just making sure there's no debris there, so we can clean some of that away. We've got to deal with this where we split it to get it off. So we're going to have to cut that back a bit to about here. Okay, now we're going to need to heat this end up so we can get it back onto the filter housing. There we go, gotcha. Let that cool down. It'll shrink into place. Slide that in into there. And this is going to come down from the top there. Let's slide that in to its little location there. That then goes round onto that one. You can get a little connector plug back in to the top there where we had it before. Okay, down inside here we've got a little one-way valve that's a part of this. We blew it out, but just to show you there, just make sure there's no hair or anything caught in that. You can see that moving about. That just holds the fuel in this swirl pot at the bottom of the pump. So the fuel can't get out, but it can get in. It can get sucked in, but it can't get drawn out. That was a challenge, wasn't it? But I think we're there. Fuel pipe is in nice and tight. That's cooled down, and that's really got hold of that, so that's not coming off in a hurry. Still got enough slack on there. Let's go get it back in the tank. I'll feed that in first. Drop that down. There's a little locator at the back there which goes into the little groove there, which is where the arrow is. So all we do is just locate that into its point. Rubber seals in. Now let's put this ring back on. Now you do need to line the ring up where the threads start, so just look at the thread on the ring and look at the thread on the tank and just line the two up before you start, and then that will make it run a whole lot easier. And then we'll just slowly wind it down as best we can, making sure that rubber seal stays in place. And then once it gets too tight for your hands, you've got to get the tool back on it again and just wind it down with the tool. Well, it's down, it's on. Let's get these pipes back in place. Right, time to start the car. Make sure it's okay before we put it all back down again. Took a little bit of struggling to start, just as it's priming the system up again. We've got to fill that pump, we've got to fill the filter, and obviously get the fuel back down the fuel line as well. Sounds alright though. Might just have a little look under here, just make sure we've got no leaks going on. Now you can see, clean as a whistle, look, clean as a whistle. Let's get the seats back in. Right, so we've got the sock and the filter. Let's try and get these apart and just see how dirty they really are inside. First of all, let's have a look at this sock and see what's actually in it. So you see that the shape of that just keeps that apart. But if this is blocked, which it looks pretty full of crap and crud, let's just take a slice of this off and have a look. So even on the top section of that, it's really dirty. You can see it's layered up. Could that be the issue? Could that be blocked enough to stop it from running properly? Oh, that's interesting in there. Look at that. Let me get some pliers so we can pull it out. Oh, this is looking really positive that this is the fault, because that is absolutely solid. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that. That does look pretty damn blocked. That does look very, very blocked. Yeah, and this the outer one there is really... Hopefully, fingers crossed, that was the problem. Right, let's take it for a spin and see how it drives. Well, it's driving as good as gold again. But the proof is in the pudding. It took 3 weeks for it to start messing about last time after we did some work on it. So all we can do is let it go and see what happens. It feels okay, it feels lovely. Them filters were dirty, so yeah, we can only do what we can do, and hopefully we've sorted it out. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this one, drop me a little thumbs up, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Got some perfume in this car.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.